Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dream League. We're getting ready, and not long away, actually, just under 10 minutes for the next game, which is going to be our lower bracket finals.
Yep.
Winner of this will move on to the grand finals and play against Alliance, and it's going to be Cloud9 versus Team Empire. They're on stage. We've not got long to go. So how are you guys doing, and what do you expect of this match?
We're rejuvenated, man. We got to eat, so we're good to go.
That's true. We did get to eat.
And some of us got to win as well. So.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He couldn't let it go. He just had to get it in. But as far as the series goes, Empire versus Cloud9, I still think that Empire probably coming into this feeling good about their performance earlier. Mag's famous words, yesterday we made mistakes, today we made less mistakes, and the game was easy. So if they continue that game plan, Cloud9 could be in some trouble.
I also talked to the manager, the coach, as well as the captain of Cloud9.
Is he the same guy?
Okay. No, it's all three different guys. All three different guys. It's like, same question, how's your team doing? That's the response.
Okay.
So bet your wares accordingly.
Well, I haven't talked to anyone, but judging from Empire's last games, I'm going to go with Empire as well. I think they've just been so solid all day. Yeah,
well, we got not long until it starts. And because we got not long until it starts, if you guys want to make sure you're on facebook.com/ROG Nordic, you might want to get your MVP in for today, because there's an awesome graphics card to win. A ASUS Matrix GTX 780 T1. We were DJing on it earlier, me and Bruno. It's a really good graphics card, apparently. It's like around $500 or plus.
It's very powerful.
Very powerful.
It's very powerful. Yeah, but there's also competitions on facebook.com/Roccat. They're giving away some stuff as well. And then Need for Seed, so /Need for Seed. But you know, the MVP. So far, we've only got to see one game. I don't think you can get an MVP from that game at all.
No.
Just because it really was overly in favor of one team. You know, Mouse Sports, unfortunately, didn't get the draft they wanted first game. Second game, kind of got run over.
Pretty much.
I think that, like, consistency-wise, you could maybe put like Mag up there, just for saying that Brewmaster game that he had was ridiculous, like the stuff that he was able to get away with. But at the same time, you say, okay, maybe that's because of the draft. So there's multiple things to look at when you're voting for MVP here. So after this series, I think we'll have a little bit of a better indicator.
Yep, until the grand finals. And that's going to be starting at 7 o'clock. And just to confirm, I can show you with graphics. Because Lumi was lying to you earlier. He said this game was starting at 4. It's in fact 3. Yeah. It's all right, Lumi.
Sorry, guys.
You were on stage. You were getting carried away. There was an overlay the whole time. So if the audience isn't full, it's Lumi's fault, by the way, because normally it would be. So Cloud9 versus Empire starting now in just a few moments. That's at 3 o'clock. And then the grand finals, Alliance versus ?
I want to say something. Alliance is in a really comfortable position right now, because no matter which one of these teams comes by the finals, they can say, well, we beat them yesterday. Empire was the only team that took a game away, as Lumi said yesterday. But they still beat them pretty clearly. And well, I mean, if it's Cloud9, Alliance is still the 18-0 game in their mind. So Alliance has to feel pretty confident about it.
Yeah, that was a devastating match. It really was. But when you get into LAN, everyone has to be on point. And everyone from Alliance yesterday was just playing spectacularly. They were a well-oiled machine. And unfortunately, with Cloud9, some people are on different pages, and it only takes a couple of mistakes, you know, and then the other team, if they're as good as Alliance or the other teams here, they will fully take advantage of that. So yeah, with the brackets then, we're going to get a champion at the end of today. From the $260,000 available in prize money, one team will take it. It's either going to be Alliance, who are already waiting there, or it could be Team Empire and Cloud9, depending on who gets to the grand finals. But of course, you still have to beat Alliance. And Alliance have won DreamHacks before. Cloud9 and Empire haven't. Alliance are very comfortable here, but how much is first place?
Right now, I think it's about $75,000.
Yeah.
Give or take 1,000. But it's really good because this is a very even tournament. Even the 6th place gets $20,000. Teams from 7 and below, they get 8.5K. So that was something that the players were like, oh, this is really cool for us, because not many tournaments have this good distribution. And sometimes, like if you watch Chinese tournaments, it's like 100,000 for the first place and then 5,000 for the second one. They're really like top heavy.
Yeah, and you know, credit to you guys at home and everyone here who's actually bought a compendium. And you know, we've done some stretch goals for you. And you know, thank you to all the players who played. Alliance, Evil Geniuses turned up, so maybe individually, thank you. S4, Admiral Bulldog from Alliance, PPD, Zai, Universe from EG,
S4.
MSS from Mouse, and then S4, and then Bulldog. So shout out to those guys for helping us with the ability draft, and that's because you guys had, of course, gave us some money. And you can still buy the compendium. You still get items as well. So, and we have one more stretch goal to come. It's the vocal challenge. But before we get to that, which will probably just be around the finals, let's go into the match at hand, and we can meet our first team that are down on stage. And I believe it should be Cloud9 who have decided to take stage right. And yesterday, they were demoralized after their loss versus the Lions, but they've got a different type of opponent today, and every different day is going to mean you come in with just a different game almost. You can't play consistently over day to day. We saw Bone7 just moments ago, Pylai, as I mentioned, the guy that I really want to see up his game because he's so big for his team when he does. Eternal Envy, him and Pylai are the two that talk about the strats, the drafts. And Sing Sing, going to be playing mid, the man that can make stuff happen. And they've really relied on Sing Sing in some of their matches to get this far. So hopefully everyone can play well because they're going to need to beat Team Empire. And Aoi 2000, a really stable support. And he has been, but when the game's sometimes behind because he likes to farm, you don't see a lot of him. So hopefully they can get an even game. That's when Aoi starts to shine, when the match is going evenly.
On a slightly related note, I just want to say those noise-canceling headsets, I want one of those for home because I put that and everything disappear.
That is awesome.
I think you can still, you can still hear the crowd cheer, which is really good, but things disappear. So we have resolution now.
Yep.
Right there, looking smart. And always want to fly. Also the support of this team, very concentrated, very focused, but a really fun guy actually if you get to meet him. Vanskor. How's it going, Vanskor? Hey. He became famous last year because of his Rubik plays. Now he can play
the TI3 qualifiers.
Pretty much every support, and he does it well. And now the silent carry of the team.
Yeah, this man playing that Clinks last game, dominated. Yeah. I mean, they played well, and it was nice because we've seen Mag do so well every game thus far. We've seen Resolution do fantastically, and then you just saw Silent step it up to get Team Empire into this position.
Yep.
So, the supports are obviously doing their jobs as well, always want to fly in Vanskor. And again, those supports on either team tend to shine a lot more in their little differences when the match is going evenly. And I think we should see quite an even game here in the best of 3.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, do you have any predictions coming into this match?
I think Empire. I don't know if it's going to be a 2-0 or a 2-1, but I'm just feeling like Empire, given the way that they've been playing, they've shown probably the best Dota outside of Alliance that we've seen so far in the tournament. And Cloud9, you never know what you're going to get, right? Like it could be the Cloud9 that could potentially beat any team on the planet.
Like MLG Cloud9?
Yeah, and it could be the Cloud9 that goes not a single kill against Alliance yesterday. So, I don't know.
Lumi?
I think Cloud9's playstyle matches well against Team Empire. I said something similar during the previous match and it turned out to be true. Cloud9 does very well in split pushing, and against a team that likes to group up and push, suddenly when you have 2 lanes after you have to defend on the other side of the map, that gets a little bit hairy. And I think Empire is one of those teams that like to win before 40 minutes. Cloud9 could drag the game out and take the game late, and that's kind of what I'm expecting from them to do at the best of 3 series.
So you're going for Cloud9?
Cloud9, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to side with Andy and go with Empire again. Because I think they don't have time to finish it in the... If Empire pushed like they did in the last games, Cloud9 just won't be able to react quick enough.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, Cloud9 are great at fighting, like Lumi said. Also, the push that Empire put down, it isn't like a strong push. It's like normally just one hero or a second hero that
like
can.
A DK.
Yeah, and the rest of them are fighting heroes. And we've seen Cloud9, if they can make the game last ages, and they split push everywhere, I'm not sure. Like, I'm torn on this one, but I definitely think that it's a good matchup in terms of it's really going to be the better team to win today.
I'm going to put it this way. We saw it against Mouse today. Against Empire, if you go 2 or less Midas, you can fight, you can win. If you go 4 Midas or more, you get wrecked.
All right.
Wasn't it 3 Midas?
3 Midas, sorry, 3 Midas.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I just missed one or what.
No, it was 3.
I think the thing that's interesting to me about Cloud9 here is that I don't know if they have a tendency to pick really that heavy of D-pushing lanes. So you don't see like a lot of coddles or a lot of spammy heroes. Like Pylai plays Earthshaker, but the way that he plays it is so like selfless, right? Like he's always no farm, under-leveled at some point in the game unless they get an early game lead, which they haven't been able to do so far. So I'm thinking if you do that against Empire, you're going to get steamrolled. So
They also picked
with a different plan.
Jakiro yesterday quite a bit, so that's
Yeah,
another.
that's
a great
those
hero.
are counter pushing. So there's that.
And
And
remember,
Tidehunter as well.
Tidehunter.
Empire picked up Jakiro as well. Sorry.
remember that Eternal Envy said on the first day, Doom is OP, that's what we learned from WPCAs. And they've been picking, no one is denying Doom to Cloud9. And I mean, with Alliance it didn't work, but until that point, they were riding with the success of that hero dominantly. Maybe Empire will want to either remove that or take that for themselves, because Mag is also a very good Doom player.
Yeah, well, we'll see what's going to happen in the draft, because that's what's ready now. So both teams, it's going to be their first game in the lower bracket finals, Cloud9 versus Team Empire, and they're playing for a place in the grand finals to play against Alliance and see if they can take the championship of the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. For some reason there, I was like, where am I? The ASUS ROG DreamLeague, that's where we are. Into the draft, we've seen chairs. Look, this is what they do. They get chairs, me and Bruno
I
don't.
thought they were just going to cut right into the game,
Like
man.
they always do.
Well, they always do.
When I paused, they were probably all in production going, what's he trying to say?
It was my
On with
bad,
the
guys.
game.
My bad, guys. Anyway, we're inside the game now. Sorry, Lumi, I took your thunder. But you got to do the hosting thing, so I get to do one game intro.
Okay, go.
That's the trade-off. All right, so in this matchup, I already like what Empire are doing. They're taking out, I would say, probably the most comfort zone heroes that Cloud9 could possibly field right now. I'd say in conjunction with Lycan and Mirana, you probably also would want to think about taking out Visage and Earthshaker if you really want to make Cloud9 play something different. But I don't know if those heroes are really ban-worthy in their eyes, and they're going to start things out with a Wisp.
I'm surprised that Batrider is not being denied or picked up, and it's going to allow Cloud9, Bone7 to pilot it if he wants. Cloud9 normally gives away the Batrider to get the Wisp, so they could do the counter relocate thing, but I'm not sure whether Team Empire has practiced that enough. I think those kind of precise relocate really takes a ton of patience and practice to make it work. I'm expecting Cloud9 to go Doom Bat right here.
Doom Bat?
Well, the thing is, both of them are off-lane heroes, so maybe you won't pick both. But I think Batrider is just too good of a hero to not draft.
Well, you don't have to necessarily off-lane both heroes. I mean, we talked about Doom earlier today and yesterday and saying this hero can really do it all. I mean, you're probably not going to see it safe lane, but you can do it mid. You can do it in the jungle as well. Off-lane is also a possibility, but I think it's maybe not fair to say that he can only off-lane.
It's fair.
It's the most common place that you see him.
Yep.
Right?
I mean,
That's
what you're
true.
saying is fair. I agree. And we're not going to see Batrider on either of the two picks, which I find completely crazy.
I mean, the thing is, do you really want to pick a Batrider into Tide? Because Tide's one of those heroes that you're pretty much never going to lasso for any reason.
There was a game yesterday where someone did lasso a Tide, and they felt the pain of it.
Yeah.
It was Mouse versus Cloud9, and it wasn't looking good, because Palaita got the easiest 5-man Ravage as a result.
Well, Empire are actually doing something that we saw them do, I believe, yesterday.
They were dire in that game, though, weren't they?
With the Gyrocopter and Wisp.
Yes.
I don't think the side necessarily matters so much for this, but I think what you're trying to say is that Wisp is better on Radiant, just as a general rule of thumb. But that all depends on how the lanes are going to work out. I don't know if Empire have ever really been a fan of the dual lane mid.
Okay.
I think they usually just try to put it, like, they've been picking DK a lot.
Even
right?
with Gyrocopter doing flat cannon on like multiple stacks?
I mean, I'm not saying that stacking is bad. I'm just saying that I don't know if they're going to put it mid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the Wisp can still stack even if he's not mid. If you're safe lane, you're going to be like creep pulling and stuff like that anyway, so you're probably going to be able to find the time to do that.
In terms of the style of stacking, Empire is a team that doesn't stack. Yesterday we talked about how they had, I think, DK and a Gyro at the same time, and they never stacked once in that game. But speaking of DK, Cloud9 will take one out, because the pushing strat is eminent.
Yes.
I like the DK ban. They just respect Empire and what they play the hero as so much that they say, you know, we just don't want to deal with it. It's fine. Like, taking away the scariest aspect, I think, of what Empire has done so far is being able to play around that one push-centric hero and then just pick a team that sits behind him and says, okay, well, if you engage into us, you're going to have a bad time.
Okay. Would you say Eternal Envy is going to be playing the Tidehunter like yesterday?
I hope not.
All right.
I don't think it's out of the question. I think it could be possible, but it's so hard to guess early on just because you see two heroes from each team. Tide, Doom can, like,
they can do anything.
They can do anything with that.
The reason I say that I hope Tidehunter is not being piloted by Envy is not to say that he doesn't play a Tide well. It just doesn't fit what he wants to do a lot in other games.
Yeah, his style, yeah.
Yeah, what he likes to do is like, okay, if there's a team fight going on and I can't TP in there, I'm going to get a tower. Tidehunter's not exactly a character for that, right? For example, Drow Ranger is something that he plays. Yeah, you give him 10 seconds in the tower, he'll take it down for you. So he likes to split push quite a bit. He likes to either split push and not join the fight, or split push and create space. And neither of that are the TIE stuff. So hopefully we're going to see a little bit more tradition of a core. At the same time, how do you think about Cloud9's counter pushing capability? That's something that we brought up a couple minutes ago. You know Empire is going to strike at your towers early. How are they in terms of counter pushing? How good can they fight under their towers?
Well, Tide's actually pretty good counter push because you can just pull the creep wave off the tower. And committing heavily to a Tide Hunter usually doesn't work out that well for the opposition. So in this case, I think it's not so much about how much wave clear you have as it is, can you actually just get the creeps off your tower and walk away with them? Because as it stands right now, if you can't get your hands on a DK, Lycan's already banned out. There still are some decent pushers in the pool, but I don't know if Empire is going to go with that kind of a style. I think they just care more about fighting than anything else. And
they're actually
back. Yeah, I mean, they see the Silencer banned from Empire, and Kunkka's banned as well, which is another really good hero to like stop this kind of wombo combo that you're looking at right now coming out of Cloud9. So they say, okay, yeah, we can just pick Enigma.
Disruptor's still in the pool, though.
That is true, but I actually think Disruptor is very weak against Tide Doom lineups, just in general.
Okay.
Because like, you're not really killing any of the heroes. You're more or less there for the disable, right? Like you're silencing, and you're hoping that the rest of your team does enough damage to be able to get kills. But once, like, Enigma's going to get BKB, Doom's going to get BKB.
Oh, yeah, baby.
First time we've seen it.
Yep.
First time, because we've seen, what, Tidehunter Enigma 3 times?
And Doom was in all of them games
Brewmaster as well sometimes, yeah.
But Empire say, nope, we're actually going to take the opportunity to pick Rubik. And I think that might be a bit of an oversight by Cloud9, because normally Rubik wouldn't be picked because he's not so good as a support in the beginning of the game. He really, really needs levels.
Yeah.
And you only have
Wow.
left.
Oh my god.
They pick Bane into the Rubik. Fiend Script is going to be free.
Yeah. But the Rubik pick with Gyro and Wisp means that Gyro has enough damage on his own to make Rubik still worth picking, just because it's a lot easier to isolate heroes. As far as the main pick goes, I don't think picking Bane into Rubik is that big of a deal, to be honest, because he's going to not really prioritize Fiend's Grip over the other ultis that he could potentially get his hands on, and he's going to have to stay so far away from the fights, right?
Mm-hmm. Is there a stage in a game, if you're Rubik, you say, okay, judging by the lineup against me, I need to either get a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger over wards and stuff, and let IO buy all the wards and all the...
I think there is, yeah.
Because if he gets a Force or a Blink in this game, it'll make such a huge impact.
I think that's where taking down the early tier 1 towers really help out. Like your mech gets picked up by Wisp, and of course everybody else gets item as well. But sorry, Andy, I think you were about to answer Shane's question.
I'm good.
Okay. The other thing to point out is that Tide, Enigma, Bane being picked up. One of those heroes is going to be played as a core. And judging by Cloud9's recent trends, Tide Hunter as a farmer is going to be a thing, I think.
Yeah.
It has been working out pretty well.
Maybe a solo safe lane Tide Hunter or something.
That's
like
what they ran yesterday.
Yeah.
The thing is, since teams are ending the game faster and faster nowadays, like sure, we've seen a couple of long matches, but they didn't have Tide in them, right? But usually when you have that hero and you have Enigma behind it and you have a Doom behind it, you can just walk into towers and kill them, more or less. And you don't need to have a safe lane farming hero like a PL, for example, to go 60 minutes if you just end the game at 25. So what Cloud9 are doing right now, I feel, is it's very strong, and their team fight is definitely up there, but I don't think Empire are really lacking in the fighting department. This is something that we spoke about yesterday when Note was here. So Empire are always looking for engagements, all the time. So James said Cloud9 can fight. Well, you better hope they can, because Empire are going to be bringing it to them just as much.
All right.
I wonder what the last carry of choice here for Cloud9 is. Unless that Tinder is going to be handled by Envy, we're going to see them select a carry of some choice. Now, I don't think we're going to see a Meepo here, right? Not against Clockwork, not against Gyrocopter. Seems fairly difficult to protect him.
But the thing is, all Team Empire is magic damage.
I mean, yes,
right?
There is a little bit more magical resistance. At the same time, though, that's a lot of magical bursts.
It's like 12% less magic damage, or 13%.
Yeah, but you have to also consider that if it's mid, and we don't know what Empire is going to be putting mid yet.
I'd say Invoker, maybe.
That is also possible. I'm just saying, like, Meepo is not out of the question.
Okay. You know, I'm saying Invoker for Empire, but Cloud9 could also pick it, actually.
Yeah, I think Invoker is actually okay for both teams. They're going to go Alchemist. Wow, okay.
I really like Alchemist as a hero when you're on the defensive end. Acid Spray, I mean, it's not going to like kill anybody, but it's going to wear you down, especially if you're going to spend multiple time in front of it.
Also dire, and they have Alk and Tidehunter with Enigma Eidolons. Like
Easy
that's
stacks.
an easy Roshan as well.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is that when we saw Gyrocopter picked constantly, Alchemist was the answer to Gyrocopter in a lot of those games, because Alchemist has insane base attack time with his ult on, and Gyrocopter is not a hero who does great single target damage through BKB. You know, he just hits, uses flat cannon when heroes start getting that magic immunity out, and that's how he transitions after his really strong spellcasting type early game. But Alchemist just doesn't care at any stage, and they are going to indeed go with the Invoker pick. So the kill potential on Empire in the laning phase is really strong. You have to respect that. Even Mag on a Clockwork can go for solo kills on supports if the Sunstrike support is there. And you also have to worry about bottom lane. If a hero gets caught, it's dead.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to run it back as a carry Tide again. So one thing that we saw, Envy's playing. Off lane Tidehunter. All right, Envy's going to be playing carry Doom.
What we've seen Empire do in the past as well is they send Resolution solo safe lane or solo top against a 1v1 lane, and like they dual lane mid sometimes.
Okay. I don't think that's going to happen this game, though.
Always Want to Fly can do the pull as Radiant, as Rubik in the jungle.
Yep.
To stack, you know, the one I'm talking about, beside the tier 2 tower at bottom.
Yeah.
There's some neat things you can do with Wisp and Rubik as Radiant.
Will we be seeing any of that? We don't know.
I'd say it'll be just fighting, and they're just going to ignore all that.
Yeah, they're actually not even going to hit creeps. They're both going to run down a lane and just start fighting each other.
Well, one thing that Cloud9 needs to do right now is run into their own jungle and make sure that it doesn't get warded off. Because warding against Enigma's... Pause. Ready?
Finall pause. GG.
Okay.
I'm kind of disappointed in a way because Vanscore is not playing Rubik.
Yeah, I think he plays Wisp. Bruno was saying something about it, but every time I've seen him not play Rubik, he was playing Wisp.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one of those situations, like Funnick, for example, he would always play Wisp. I mean, when he was playing for Empire way, way back, he was always like the Clinkz player, the Darkseer player, and then the Wisp player, which was really weird. But that is a hero you definitely need a ton of experience on if you want to totally utilize what it's capable of. So no real surprise that he's going to be taking the reins on it in this game. And I was going to say, Silent had started with one of the greediest builds I've ever seen, but he actually did end up getting an extra branch in Tangos, and Mag in the top lane sporting his pots and pans suit.
How does Sing Sing do mid against Invoker?
30 seconds.
I think it's actually very annoying for Invoker in this matchup because you get such an early bottle, you just continually spam Acid Spray, and it zones the hero out. Like, you can't stand in it. You come in, joust for CS, and then walk away.
Yeah.
And once the Alchemist gets 6...
You can't zone him out.
Yeah, you can't really kill him on your own. With some rotations, they might be able to kill him, like if the Wisp and the Rubik come in mid. But even that is going to be kind of tough. They have to do it early if they want to get those kills.
Yeah, I think starting as soon as level 3, that's where the Acid Spray gets annoying. Like, you're not going to, again, die from it, but maybe you need to like start getting a point extra in Quas to start regening, and that's not where you want to be.
No, you never want to do that as Exort Invoker. Because of the setups you have as well with Rubik and with Clockwork with the cogs.
It is going to be both teams running seemingly defensive tries here. Well, Cloud9 actually have a jungler, so not necessarily a defensive try lane, but it does mean that they're going to be getting a little bit more out of the laning phase, at least for the early portion.
Are they doing like Eternal Envy's items?
Envy was essentially waiting for a big creep to spawn, which they would now find out that camp's blocked off. And he just gave the first wave to AI 2000, so you could, or sorry, Pylai died to get a little bit of rest or farm.
What is it with Bane starting the game with DDs? It just happens all the time for some reason. I'm not really sure. But bottom lane, it's going to be Bone 7 taking on a Rubik, a Gyrocopter, and a Wisp, which is very, very scary, even for a Tidehunter. Like, Kraken Shell is not really going to do that much good for you here, because if you get lifted and pulled back, you're already probably going to die. And the Kraken Shell does nothing against things like Rocket Barrage, so just a very, very scary lane in general.
So in this case, you have Vanscore taking all the experience from the pulls and Always Want to Fly kind of just leeching a little bit in lane. Do you think this is the right way to do it? Like, I know getting level 6 on Wisp is like insanely important, but in this game, getting level 6 on Rubik is nearly equally as important.
I think that the Wisp is more about getting like the map dominance out, like straight away. Just saying, okay, you have to worry about us relocating on you at all times. And Mag is He's living life on the edge up here. Pile Dies is kind of running at him saying, well, I haven't actually put any skill points in yet, so not going to be able to do much. But yeah, I do think that the Wisp is a little bit more important here. Because a Rubik is one thing to be able to steal a spell, but just having the constant threat of a Wisp relocate seems like the mental taxation that it has on the other team can be pretty good.
Okay. I also think at the early stages...
Courier snipe.
Oh,
Ban score. It's dead. So dead.
No, that is huge.
He might die for it.
He has tether.
That's a spray into a stun, a ton of damage right clicks, and here comes the creep. Can he tether away to any support? Oh. Yes, he can. Always want to fly, lending a helping hand. Vanscore got away with murder.
Okay, so on the bright side, this could still got his bottle.
This could be bad here as oh, never mind. He's okay.
Question is Aoi paying attention to how much experience he's getting? That's the big thing. Because you can actually tell if somebody's sitting on top of you.
Yeah, you can.
Aoi tells me that he knows the exact value of the creeps if he's...
Is he going to ping?
Being like invis denied, yeah.
He can't do anything. Just a little bit of leeching coming out from Mag, and he's already halfway to level 4 at 3 minutes in, so he's not doing too bad.
I think Resolution is smiling right now, because if you're playing against an Alchemist that's bottle crowing...
Well, not anymore, right?
Exactly,
Courier's dead.
All of a sudden, the lane is a lot easier for him. And he did
top
go
lane Mag could be in some trouble. He actually pops a Cogs, pulls both Envy and Paladin inside. They're just going to say, yeah, we're not going to get mana burned by those.
Stands in there for a bit.
That lane actually can't do anything to him until level 6.
Yep. It feels like all of these lanes, Cloud9 are just wanting to play passively, but they might give a lot away in the early game. And that's not what you want to do against Empire. I like what Bone 7's doing. Continue stacking that Ancients. He'll probably take it for himself. Once he has like level 3 Anchor Smash, you can start whittling that one down.
If you use Acid Spray and Anchor Smash together, because Anchor Smash is physical, you can actually take the Ancients very quickly.
And during the laning phase, oh, Nightmare here on Mag. He's going to be fine. Gets the rune. Going to be a little bit annoying to Mag. No harm, no foul. Just making sure that I guess Resolution doesn't get it, but taking the rune away actually from your own teammate kind of stinks too, so I guess Sing is going to be a little bit upset with that. His Courier's respawning in 15 though. He'll start to be able to bottle crow again and actually get his boots, which are pretty darn important. But they haven't really prioritized moving around at all. I think Empire are okay with just making sure the Vanscore hits 6, and then to start using that to try to apply some kind of pressure. But they do need to be careful, man, because Enigma jungle's really damn fast.
Always want to fly in middle with the cold snap.
Wow, really nice rotation. He is extremely dead.
Ghost Wall earlier in the game, or Ice Wall early in the game. Gonna do a ton. There's that first blood. Resolution well onto his ways off Phantom Midas. About 350 to go. On the top, that looks like a making die for the clockwork. No.
Nah, he's fine. Those ganks, by the way, on Sing would never happen if his Courier wasn't dead. Because the only reason he's even low on that lane is because he never had his bottle full. Yep. Like, he got it to him, but he used all the charges almost immediately. So he never was able to recover his HP, and he was 40 experience away from level 6 before he died. Which, if he was able to just use his ult, might have taken a lot longer to kill him, or might have been able to use it before they ganked him in the first place, and then a full health Alchemist maybe walks away from that. Definitely not the start Cloud9 we're looking for, but...
Mag is pretty deep. Do we have TPs on? Yeah.
He can't really die, though. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, Envy is level 6, sure, but what is he going to do? Doom and walk at a clockwork when Pile Die is only level 2?
Always want to fly has a TP as well, so he can just TP in and
save. The problem with this top lane is even if it's going to get a kill, it's going to get it very slowly. And as a result, you could just TP in and suddenly you're under tier 1 tower. I think the rotation for Enigma is going to be the key thing. Mid lane's going to happen right there. Malef is going to start things through. There's that Ice Wall, but the damage output is going to be enough. One more right click. It's going to be Enigma that picks up that last hit. He's got to be careful. The one more hit. Oh, it's going to be always want to fly that takes the kill. That Ice Wall just lasted forever.
He actually got level 6 off that TP as well because the hero died. And he's going to get some creeps for it. Even steals the Unstable Concoction before he walks back to the tier 2. So always want to fly. Definitely on top of his game there. Well, looks like there's Indus here top as well.
Resolution didn't actually lose any gold because he purchased the Hand of Midas recipe. He lost like 5 gold or something.
That's 6 mana Midas. And it looks like Envy's going to be following suit with his own Midas.
Oh. They want them again in mid, I think.
I mean, again, he's not going to lose too much gold off of this because he's only got mostly reliable gold, but taking him off the map is going to be a big deal. The gank's going to come in right now. Stun.
Mag has a TP.
Well, let's see if it's going to TPB enough. Black Hole could be spent. In fact, they will use it right there. It's a long cooldown spell, but early game, definitely okay to spend it on the kill.
If they can deal some substantial damage to the tier 1, I'd say it's more than worth it. There is a glyph up, though. It's important to keep in mind. But there are conversions now, actually a double spawn of them, a creep wave, and a catapult. So the timing of this gank was actually really nice because they synced it up directly with the catapult. But the Fable coming in lowers the push damage so much that the tower is not really... I think it's going to die here.
Always want to fly is just farming all of these creeps.
Yeah. It's actually huge for him. He might hit level 7 off the next wave. Oh, he hits level 7 off this wave, so there you go. Jeez. Level 7 Rubik at freaking 7 minutes into the game. Shit. If only Vanscore had that hero, right? Be like, well, he'd have 3 more levels.
Well, I mean, Always On Fly has been playing well.
Yeah,
so.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like, it would be nice if Vanscore also was level 7.
Oh, okay.
You know? Because he's been the one who basically cut off his own legs right now, and he's just like stacking the woods and such and left alone.
One thing we do know for sure coming in from yesterday's games that Cloud9's early game could be a little shaky.
But they can hold on to the game.
Yeah, this game, it doesn't seem too bad in the sense that a lot of people are sufficiently farmed. Doom is quite farmed, you know Enigma is definitely farmed. And Bone 7's got the Ancient stack that he could fall back onto, same with Sing Sing. So for all it's considered, Cloud9 is an okay position. For Empire, I think they're where they want to be as well. Yeah, especially if they could pick up... Oh,
Vanscore, no, the tether breaks.
But he has a haste.
Okay, he's
Run
fine.
It off.
Whew.
That was weird. I wonder what canceled the tether. Maybe he double tapped it?
Double tapped it.
Yeah.
But if he didn't have that chainmail, he would have died because most of the damage was physical that came from the stun. So it's a pretty good thing that he had a chainmail on his Wisp. Pretty like awkward bottle chainmail.
Medallion finished on Sing. I think that's the early Roshan that they've been looking for. With the Enigma. I think they wait on Ewi and they smoke in maybe.
There's also an insane amount of kill potential there as well.
Yeah.
Like you get a Medallion, an Acid Spray concoction on somebody. That's already minus 11 armor with just level 3 Acid Spray. That stuff hurts, man.
Yep.
Especially when you're playing against squishy supports like Rubik and the Wisp as well. Although he does have a chain though.
Oh.
So.
I'm somewhat surprised by the lack of gank so far that Mag has done for the team, but looks like his Clockwork Hook was on cooldown.
I think he's waiting until level 7 maybe, or over and over extension maybe.
Yeah.
Smoke up here from Cloud9. Looks like they could be going for that very, very early Roshan.
Does that stun Roche if it explodes?
Nope.
It does not. It's just like straight up dying.
Fine, man. He's got that regen.
Well.
And now he can regen more outside the Roshan pit. As
They're actually going to lose their ward outside of the pit. This
Yeah.
becomes extremely dangerous if a few more heroes walk in.
All they really need to do is have Enigma in there by himself. He could
They
shoot
can't
it.
finish it.
Well, if you have Acid Spray, a medallion as well as...
Yeah, but Silence here with a call down, and he's level 8, so...
I think Sing used the stuns, so Always Want to Fly couldn't steal his ultimate.
Yeah, that's also a possibility, but stealing the stun is arguably better.
Yeah.
In some situations, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the pit, and you have multiple heroes stacked up to try to like, kill Roshan or something like that.
It's one of the few spells in this game that you can have that spell and another spell running at the same time, though. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Farm time happening from Bone 7.
Oh, he is happy.
Once he gets this, he gets a straight blink, which is pretty huge for Tidehunter. Especially on how this game's going to go. They're going to have a moment in time where they have both blink as well as black hole together.
I didn't mean anything by it. I just accidentally bumped you.
It was like a punch.
I had an itch. No, I went like this.
Is he hitting you again, Lumi?
My feelings are hurt.
I just didn't realize my arm was actually that long.
I know where he sleeps.
It's all right, man. Everything's fine. Anyway, more flares going to be thrown out just to make sure that Cloud9's not doing Roshan, so Mag doing his scouting duties, but this Ancient stack is being devoured right now by Cloud9, and that is an insane amount of golden experience going their way. I mean, that's almost Bone 7's blink just from that.
Actually, seems like a lot of blinks is going to finish right about time.
Yep.
If Envy wants that gold, he's going to finish his blink right there. Anchor smash, bang.
There we go.
Lucky Rockets for the kill.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's flying there. All right, looks like it's going to be a little bit off.
I think without the early Roshan, though, like, even with Cloud9 getting the Blink Dagger up on the Tide relatively soon, and Aoi getting pretty close to his mech, if not, does he have it already? No, okay, just the Buckler. But I don't know if it's enough to really give them a huge advantage. They have some pretty good Wombo combo, but you also have to keep in mind that Vanscore is now level 6. Always Want to Fly is going to be able to steal a pretty decent spell. His positioning this game and movement has been great.
Yep.
So I would like to see Cloud9 do something. I'm worried about fighting into Empire.
The relocate is up if they want to initiate somewhere, but I'm thinking it's maybe on Mag top to go and Pilot Eye.
Yeah, it should be quite easy. Easy hook in into a relocate, but do you want to really spend 2 ultimate just for like a support kill?
Yeah, why not?
I guess. I mean, Always Want to Fly is rotating, and to be completely honest, all they really want is like 1 lift, toss him into the Clockwork, and that should be enough. Bane is somewhat tanky though, so gotta be careful.
Oh, they spot him.
Now Clockwork is walking jungle, relocate's gonna come through, so is the Sunstrike, and wow, bang.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, that was quick.
That was maybe a bit overkill.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need to relocate, but nevertheless, they get the kill. Actually, Vanscore was the one who picked it up, so that's a hashtag worth from his department.
He's going back for the urn.
That was like a James relocate just to get a kill, you know what I mean? To relocate across the map is boom, got him. But they're not really going to be able to get much off of it in terms of applying pressure to lanes. Both teams pretty much just statically farming. Resolution's tower is actually quite low in the middle lane in comparison to Cloud9's due to the ganks that he's been receiving earlier. And now, tied with the Blink Dagger, Doom also going for that very, very quick BKB after his Midas, and Aoi with the mech.
It's time to go if you're Cloud9.
No, you wait on the BKB on Internal Envy, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
And then it's go time, yeah. He won't be like you hand him Midas and Devour. You can probably get it in like under 2 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be very quick. The one thing too is like you do kind of want armor as well. Like a plate mail, just a casual one even is good enough.
Against the forward spirits and like the right click damage from Gyrocopter there, yeah.
I mean, mostly at this point of the game, it's fairly physical lacking for Empire. It's mostly magical, but eventually, yeah.
Well,
Daisy's very
Invoker does a lot of physical damage
yeah,
at
if
this
he
stage.
sticks it to the 2-4 spear on you.
Oh, Sunstrike in the pit, Sing, getting pretty low. They know what's going on now.
They're
Can
not
they
doing
actually
this.
react fast enough? There's a double damage.
I think they're using this as a bait because keep in mind that they have the Blink Ravage, so if Empire commits pretty hard, they can get him pretty badly. In fact, it might be happening right now. There's a double damage on Gyrocopter. That's a go back time. They doom him up for now. Where's the Blink Ravage? They need this badly. The sun's going to come through. The Ravage is still not here. Envy is moving slow. He comes in finally with the Ravage, gets 1 kill immediately. Second kill comes out. The Grip's going to go on Resolution, and this is the fight they're looking for. Resolution's going to get picked up as well. Great fight from Eternal Envy, the rest of the team, and they'll get Vanscore. That's 4. And a buyback. That's 5 and a buyback. Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo indeed.
Okay, so the rest of the team definitely were not ready for that. There's going to be a call down inside of the pit. And it looks like Gyrocopter actually got doomed before he could do it the first time.
Yep.
And before he could flat cannon as well.
But Mag actually hooked in and caught Bone 7 and another hero inside of Cogs. And they couldn't get to the fight to Ravage for ages. And Empire still couldn't win the fight fast enough to make it matter. So now they force a buyback out of Empire, completely team wipe them, and they're going to get Roshan.
Yep. Sorry, I kept calling Bone 7 Eternal Envy because I keep remembering playing a TIE Hunter game.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, flashback from yesterday. But yeah, the Ravage was great, even though Mag went in and tried to stop him. But looks like the mid is trying to get a fight. The lift into a stun looks like they're a little bit misclicked.
That was a creep, yeah.
And this is where you feel the pressure if you're Team Empire because they just lost a big fight. They need a lot as a return. But look at this push. It's pretty overwhelming. Sing Sing's going to come in, drops off a stun. He'll run it back. Oh, Clockwork Hook's going to go in, though. Can they really kill him?
His ultimate was wearing off in 1 second.
Uh-oh, the ultimate's down. Sing Sing's dead. Immediately, the mech's going to come through. Well, he's got the Aegis. And here comes Always Want to Fly with the Sun. Sunstrike Arena on top. Off the respawn. It doesn't hit. And that's going to be it for the fight. No, they keep on diving. Empire, they never look back. Keep on going, keep on going. Sing Sing's going to get right-click down. He needs physical survivability, like you said. Meanwhile, on the backline here, Eternal Envy gets off a Doom. After 1 kill, they want a 2nd kill on Mac as well. And the Doom is actually going to do a lot of damage. Blink Anchor Smash. And it's going to be a 3rd kill if it's not going to get denied. There's no denied. 3 kills coming up. And the 4th Spear is going to get taken care of. The only silver lining in this fight is that Rubik stole Doom. But that's it.
I think there is more to it than that. I mean, they did kill Sing twice.
They got the tier 1 tower middle as well.
I mean, okay.
And they got the tower.
They got a tier 1.
They were fighting it into an Aegis. That's the thing. Like, they did not know the meaning of fear. They were just going in because they knew that they didn't have Black Hole and didn't have Ravage.
Okay. Here's the age-old saying.
Age-old saying. I'm ready.
Probably going to butcher it.
Go on.
Okay.
Foolishness and courage could be the same thing.
What you mean to say is there's a fine line
between foolishness,
bravery, and stupidity.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
You were close.
I was not really, but I had the idea.
Well, you knew what you meant.
Yeah. So you were saying for Team Empire, they got the T1.
It
which
wasn't
is good.
that bad. That's what I'm saying. It
Okay.
wasn't horrible.
It was.
I'm very worried for Team Empire.
So am I.
Because Gyrocopter essentially died back. Died the Roshan pit, buy back, and died again.
Yeah.
And he has what? A drums and a Yasha.
Well,
or
Blade
a Blaze
of
of
Black.
Black. Not even the Yasha. So I think BKB is a necessity in this game if he wants to ever do anything, especially against Blink Ravage. You cannot count on Mac to actually zone out Bone 7 every single fight.
BKB, even with
Dire's top
Doom,
tower is
Bane,
under attack.
and Enigma, yeah, you still get BKB.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the Rabbit just for one. They want Resolution dead, and they shall have it. Easy kill for Sing Sing. Tier 1's going to go down. And the Empire is going to get something in return on the top lane, perhaps a tier 1 tower trade. Also in the mid lane, Mag is going to do a very, very excellent job in terms of pushing out the lanes, but they need to go back and defend tier 2 soon.
Dire's top
All right, that's the
tower
Yasha
has
finished
fallen.
on Jero.
I think he really needs a BKB. Like,
Yeah.
even if it sucks buying BKB against Doom, like, if he doesn't have it, he's just going to get comboed to death every single fight.
Yep. Blink Gush into into Anchor Smash. Well, that's a
What a
nice,
lift.
nice telekinesis.
Doom is still up.
I think they're going to go high ground. Well, they're going to get a tier 2 and probably back it off.
I don't think they'll go high ground.
Yeah, they'll go mid. But Mag's coming in from the back line could be a very, very big cutoff on that retreat. Here comes a rocket. The hook's going to go in. It's going to get on Doom, but Doom's got BKB. And look at Mag. He just melts. The Doom's going to go on the Invoker, so he's not doing anything. Here comes Bone 7. He's going in. There's no black hole for AEI 2000, so he's going to go down. Tower is going to get killed by the siege unit. Everybody will go back for now.
Body blocks from Bone 7.
Blink, 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 blink.
Relocate.
All right.
Oh, he doesn't actually relocate with the gyro. He kept moving. Pylite Eye's going to be able to TP away. Envy, though, so low. Gets killed by Vanscore. It's a double. And Empire, very impressive defense there. I love the play by Always Want to Fly, dooming Sing even with the Zoltan because he saw the unstable concoction animation.
yeah.
And it makes it so he can't throw the stun, so he just stunned himself and ended up dying. And at that point, Aui's like, okay, well, I either black hole and the Rubik steals it, or I die because I blinked in to try to save my teammate. Or not blinked, but walked in.
I think there was a 4 summons from Resolution. If he had attacked the Tide with one of them, he wouldn't have been able to blink away and TP.
Yeah.
I think the fight for me there was, so we see Bone 7 a little bit of trouble. Here comes AEI 2000, still holding to that black hole. Haven't used it yet so far in a team fight.
He used it once, I think,
For the mid
for a mid kill, yeah.
Dire's bottom
The
tower
fight for me
is
was
under
Mag
attack.
backstabbing and suicidally hooking in. Like,
Yeah.
sure, he died instantly, but that cog was in the center of the fight such that it was really hard for Cloud9 to retreat or to fight.
You know what I love about watching when I watch Empire though is that they actually don't care. Like they don't feel fear. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they will go in and fight if they think they can win. And they actually, in my
They think
opinion,
they can win all the time.
Yeah, they think they can win all the time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but that's what makes them fun to watch as
Yeah.
a team. But they actually are doing good in fights where
Yeah,
I
they
feel
are.
like they should be getting massacred. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty soon, though, all of C9 is going to have BKBs, like dangerously soon.
Yeah, I think that's also why they're putting so much emphasis on
Yeah.
just aggressively fighting now. So maybe they can get a bit more out of their heroes until those BKBs finally do come up. Because once that happens, the game's going to be like not
Not
so
fun.
easy.
Do you think Necro 3 will make an impact in the game?
I think Resolution is, like outside of Silent right now, the big factors of who can actually kill, even once those BKBs start coming out. Because we saw the Envy still drop pretty low, pretty darn fast. He has
Yeah.
no armor. He went Blink. So he's got 2 armor, BKB, and a Blink Dagger, which means he can still get focused inside of Cogs if there's a Necro Book and the Forge Spirit's hitting on him. So
And I think Sing Sing's on the same boat, right? I mean, essentially a very high HP, low armor hero.
Well, he's got 9 armor at least.
Yeah, well, he's got a medallion, which that 6 armor is essentially fake, because most likely
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to be using it. So we need to see some quick plate melts. Maybe a Shiva's coming out from your Doom, maybe an AC coming out from Sing Sing, or swap it around. But obviously, I think BKB's the priority right now.
BKB into more effective HP. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what Cloud9 are going to be going for the most part. And I think Aoi has his BKB on the Courier. Is that what's delivering right now? Yep.
Silence
is.
also about 750 gold away from his
That's
BKB.
Oh, Courier, please.
Ooh,
Courier,
Blink Ravage is
succeed,
coming in
somebody
very,
move it.
very soon. They gotta retreat.
Oh, it's dead.
Oh, Aoi with the plays, with the Midnight Pulse. That AoE, man.
Would you give up a courier to avoid that team fight? I think so, right?
I mean, if you're going to lose like 3 heroes or something like that, I would say
It seemed
Courier's
like they were
fine.
gonna lose 3 team fights. Well, you don't know. Team Empire somehow makes very little
couriers don't give experience as well, so there's that.
I think Cloud9 are okay with that situation, even without getting a kill, because they can just pressure the tier 1. And in fact, I think they're just going to kill it straight up.
Yep. And you keep on rolling if you're Cloud9, right? Go for that tier 2.
Dire's middle tower is under
I don't see
attack.
what's stopping you.
Well, they're
except
gonna go
for
back.
the
Yeah,
resolution is
Invoker.
pushing bottom there.
The funny thing about this push is that Cloud9 actually aren't that great at killing towers, so Resolution pushes faster by himself than like the whole team of Cloud9. Well, maybe not the whole team, but
That's,
maybe 2 or 3
only for the
members.
moment, though. When they start getting the auras up
Yeah.
on Doom for Alchemist, like Sing Sing's gonna hit
Tower
so fast.
deny. Pie. Yeah.
Got it.
Nicely done.
Dire's bottom tower
He
has been denied.
Pilot Die also has a BKB.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Team Golden. I mean, a lot of these BKB, there is still some sort of answer coming out from Empire. You could hook in and cancel whatever you see fit if you get their angle. Also,
It's quite difficult to cancel
yes.
3 things at once with
That-
one hook.
Oh man, just cancel it.
Yeah.
It's
The
fine.
other thing is, if you're AI 2000, you got to be careful about not giving Black Hole away, because suddenly your BKBs aren't doing anything at that point.
Especially Bane ulti. If they can get Bane ulti on top
Yeah.
of Sing, or maybe Eternal Envy, it could be pretty huge.
So what is, first question, is Empire in trouble right now?
Yeah, I think they are in trouble. Like, there's no doubt about that. I think Cloud9 in the next probably 5-10 minutes are going to hit their stride. So their team composition is going to reach its critical mass, and you're going to start having to worry about them walking at you with his death ball with BKB, Enigma, and Black Hole, and Ravage, and all the like this Alchemist who's still getting a decent amount of farm. Maybe not like super scary, but he can throw in another stun. He's very hard to take down now that he has magic immunity. I think Empire should fear.
I worry for Mag here when he has a Blade Mail, but 4 members of C9 have BKB.
Yeah, so that Blade Mail essentially just gives him some nice stats. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. You get damage, armor, and intelligence.
Now, the follow-up question is, what should Empire do at this given moment to dig themselves out of this hole? I mean, picking off against this particular Cloud9 team is going to be difficult because of the BKBs. Trying to push against them is hard. And I think finally Empire is going to be starting to go for a little bit late game. I like the stacking that they're doing. And yeah, you start just going for late. I mean, let's not forget, Black Cannon is a thing when you put some damage item on it.
I think there's always that interesting dynamic in games where you see a team that reaches a point and they feel incredibly strong, and then 10 to 15 minutes after that, their strength has kind of waned and the game kind of evens out again. I feel like that's what Cloud9 are going to run into more or less. Sure, the Doom is always going to be extremely relevant. Sing with his build, he's not really going the atypical hard carry Alchemist style. It's a mid-alch, right? So you're not building standard, I'm going to farm the entire map.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Silent on the Gyrocopter, who's going to be doing a tremendous amount of damage, backed up by Resolution. It's basically a dual core versus a dual core.
Yep.
And in terms of physical damage output and single target focus, I think that Empire might have a slight advantage if you consider that both cores on both teams have BKBs. And I think Resolution is making one, because he's got the Ogre Club in his stash right now. And
Also,
Silent already has one.
The key factor in these fights is whether Envy could get to Resolution with the Doom.
Yeah.
If you could blink in Doom and suddenly the fight gets much, much easier.
Honestly,
or
I think he can Doom
Silent before he BKBs, yeah.
and flat cannons, because that's what happened in the team fight bottom. He couldn't get the flat cannon off.
So getting that initiation, and then the fact that he got quite a late blink for that, it's going to be vital. But for now, they're going to just enjoy their farming advantage. Here comes a Blink Dagger from AI 2000 as well. How many blinks and BKB were looking at on this team? 4 BKBs, 2 blinks.
I mean, that's what you have to do, right? That's the one weakness that you could say of Empire's lineup, is that during a certain stage in the game, BKBs will negate like 90% of your damage output.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Envy actually has his Shivas finished as well, and they're going to be going for the second Roshan of the game, I believe.
Yep. They got to do it soon, though, because Tier 2 top is being hammered down by Empire. And that tower's going to go down quite quickly. Glyph is going to be expended for it.
And Resolution is bottom with the Alacrity Necromicon.
Necronomicons.
Necrocomicon.
Yes, Comic-Con 2014.
Mass TP going out on top lane to give up the Roshan here. No blink on this main, so
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
they're still blinking forward. Shiva's guard,
the
not going to
4-star.
catch a mag. Well, they really want these kills.
I don't think they can chase
No,
Mark.
let's just back it off.
They actually gave the Aegis to Sing, which I find is pretty weird. Like, typically, you don't want to give an Aegis to a hero who has any kind of transformation ability,
Yeah.
or anything that is a long cooldown that you need to fight, because you pop back up and you don't have it anymore.
Like Dragon Knife, for example.
Yeah.
Or
I guess they just feel that Eternal Envy right now, who is, I guess, the most ideal next
Oh,
Aegis
middle lane,
carrier?
always
He's
on the
not
fly.
going to die.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Well,
Oh, and
Envy's not going to
Yeah,
die.
Envy's not going to
Always-
die. Always on a fly is dead.
He was he's got his blink dagger though.
Yeah.
Is it kind of? It's not great when they have 4 BKBs though, really, is it?
Well, the
Like-
Blink Dagger is like, it's always good in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, always good. Even if a hero has a BKB, you can Blink Initiate. Even if the hero has a BKB and say, for instance, you're always want to fly, you can Spell Steal a really good ulti, like a Ravage or a Black Hole, which I think if Rubik doesn't have that item in this game, then Empire would be in an even worse spot, because a lot of it's on always want to fly now. Can I steal the big ulti? Can I make the play happen?
Yeah.
Is blink dagger too like OP at the moment? Because in nearly every game we see like at least 50% of the people get it.
I think even if it was reverted back to what it used to be, people would still buy it
Okay.
just as frequently. I
Well,
mean, you would
I
have to
mean-
build it differently though, right? Because some heroes don't have the mana pool to really support 75 mana for Blink.
Yeah.
And you can also use it less liberally around the map just to get around places faster, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would definitely make it a lot worse, but I like the way that it makes teams play now, because you see a lot more
Aggression.
aggression, yeah.
A little bit of guff on the mid lane. Always want to fly.
Get that level death. Oh, you got the
Ooh,
Devourer.
that's a great spell.
You
Time
think
to
so?
level up, guys. Get some farm in the jungle as a Rubik. Why not?
But he has blink clap now. I think he's looking for something else. Or blink stomp.
Centaur, maybe?
War stomp, yeah.
gonna
There you
find
go.
Nice.
Wait, he didn't get the skill.
Oh, he can't use it, I guess.
Yeah, because it takes up the same slot, right? Because the only reason the other slot is
Yeah.
there is for abilities like Illusory Orb.
Yeah. Well, that
so you can
sucks.
jaunt to it.
I mean, it's a mini Midas of sorts.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It actually is, because when the creep dies, you get 100 bonus gold. And then you get the gold from the creep.
I think
just from it
Midas
dying.
is a lot about experience, though,
Yeah, it is.
rather than gold.
Yeah, it's 2.5 times EXP.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, top is they're a little bit trouble.
Oh, bottom lane, Bone 7 could actually be in some trouble. He is going to be able to 4-staff away.
What?
Nice 4-staff into a cog. Bone 7 pops the Ravage, but is it actually going to be able to save? Envy blinks in. Looks like they are going to be able to mech Bone 7. Will be fine. Resolution wants the heck out of here, man. He's going to pop that Ghost Walk.
2 levels in Wex is pretty slow.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He'll be able to TP away.
Meanwhile, there has been an interesting dance on the top part of the map. As you have Resolution, or sorry, Silent, which has been staying in the tree for like essentially a minute, and the only reason he was able to make it out alive was Mag creating all this distraction on the bottom side of the map.
That was a really interesting set of engagements, I have to say.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bone 7 lived through that, even if he had to expend Ravage, I think it's fine. Because everyone who is basically on the side of Empire had to TP back to base. So the time that Ravage is on cooldown is time that Empire is not really going to be able to punish them too much. Still a really close game, though. If you look at the farm, like sure, Cloud9 are leading in golden experience, but it's not to say that Silent and Resolution aren't getting their gold from creeps, because they actually have the highest overall CS. It's just the net worths are a bit skewed because Cloud9 have taken some good fights.
The
and
towers,
Roshan's.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the buybacks, let's not forget about that one. So I think Empire is slowly getting back to that stage where something that you talked about earlier. Well, always want to fly. It looks like he's going to get
dead.
picked off again.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they're slowly going back to a stage where the BKBs, the threat of those BKBs, the superiority of those BKB grant you starting to wear down a little bit. And then your Invoker, your Gyrocopter starting to pick up a little bit more physical damages, which is where you want to gear towards to. But I think with the Rubik's death, it's inviting to a tier 2 push. And I don't think that Empire could defend that one. I mean, they could try.
It depends on how confident they are that Ravage is going to be on cooldown for the fight. I mean, if they think it's down, I'd say they could defend.
Can you steal spells through blocking bar?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah. I thought so.
Bot lane's going to be a grip on Resolution. Are they going to doom him? I think it's worth
He's
the doom.
dead anyway.
No, he's got the...
Oh, the
Just to go-
relocate.
Just
He's
doom
still
him.
alive,
Just
actually.
doom him.
Envy. He doesn't have the mana for the Doom. He's actually going to go
God.
down. Empire, they turn it around in a big way, but top, they do manage to pick off Always Want to Fly. The poor guy just can't catch a break.
And I think the reason he doesn't have the mana for the doom is because he let the Necrobook
Shot
somewhere, right?
onto Sing. Teleport coming in. Resolution's going to be the one.
They got the Black Hole if they
Aoi
want to
actually
use it.
blinks away. Sing BKB is just going to teleport out. No big deal.
Just the decision should not take the fight. I mean, they had Black Hole and a Midnight Pulse down. I thought that was a good one, but it's good. It's fine.
MKB finished on Silent as well.
Yeah.
But saving Resolution there was huge. Like, keeping him alive, Silent now getting really, really scary on top of that. I think Empire are still, even with the slight deficit, they're still okay.
Yeah. Is this going to be a Lincoln's or a Hex from Resolution?
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Lincoln's, to be totally honest, because typically when you buy Hex, you want to be the hero who initiates for your team.
You need a blink as well with Hex.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it might be Lincoln's, but it's not to say that Hex would be bad. It's just that Lincoln's blocks a Concoction. It can potentially block a Doom, depending on if Envy's like the first Lincoln's, right? Maybe you don't click on the hero and you don't realize he has it, and you're like, oh crap, I just doomed the Lincoln's, you know? Stuff like that can win you a fight, so.
And it's also the time it takes to cast level death and then Doom is quite a long time.
Yeah, reactionary time that you can use to invoke like a Deafening or maybe a Ghost Walk or something like that.
I think if you're looking towards like preventing BKB from activation, Hex is obviously what you're going for, but a Hex right now isn't going to be as good as a Hex, let's say 15 minutes from now, because that's when the BKB timer is starting to go down. So even if you don't catch them, here comes the Ravage. It's going to be there. They have a grip, perhaps. No, the perfect chain set, but they relocate. It's going to be there, and they spent a Ravage for that.
Van score, and he can go back in with BKB, and they can fight this.
Yeah, they definitely will fight this, I think.
Yeah.
They can't feel too confident. Also,
Resolution's also
going in.
They're going back in.
They won't actually try to fight this. BKB's everywhere. Grip is actually going to be
Black hole!
out with the black hole. It's going to hit on 3. The Deafening tries to cancel, but Aui's got the BKB silent. He might be going down. He's still doomed inside of his own BKB. It's 3 down. Make that 4. Triple kill for Envy. And Team Empire just getting walked over in that fight. They're even chasing Resolution inside of the base. They're just not done. Mats blinks forward. Resolution pops the BKB.
Holy shit.
That was crazy.
And nobody has to go for buyback, so this tower is on its own, man. Well, and Resolution, but I don't think he's really going to offer a lot of defense. The right clicks are coming through. The Mirax is going to be going down. Invoke is going to be your spell, man. Do you throw down a Deafening Blast? I'm not sure what it's on cooldown. Blink forward. The Gush is going to be there, and they're going to get him down very easily. Resolution is going to take a Midnight Pulse. A couple more right clicks. They are going to get him dead. All dead. Rax exposed, and Cloud9 looking good to take game number 1.
Man, that was like best case scenario into worst case scenario for Empire. They go, oh yeah, Bone 7 doesn't have Ravage. Let's totally take this fight, you know?
Always want to fly, got caught in the black hole, and that is his job. Like, don't get caught in the black hole.
I think maybe he was a bit overzealous because they were confident in taking the engagement. You can see how they were positioned. They're like, yeah, this is our time.
Yeah.
You know? But
and it seemed like it too.
I don't know. I just felt like watching that team fight, it kind of went in slow motion because you saw the Enigma coming in from the back. And it's just like, he has BKB. You saw Resolution come in, he tried to cancel it.
Yeah.
But it's a very long duration BKB. So regardless of whether or not the black hole like gets canceled, I think the damage is pretty much already done at that stage. But plays like that win you games, man.
I don't think Empire's completely out of it just yet.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think at this late stage of the game, where you could just like get a flat cannon going, go for the late game. Bruno thinks it, but Bruno doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, I think Empire has the team fight capability to win one fight. I mean, you got to win like 2 or 3 more fights to say you're even, but you're not losing the game right now.
When you always want to fly in this case as well, and that happens to you in that team fight, you realize, okay, I need to play smarter, and I need to adapt to this.
I mean, I could totally see somehow him slowing a black hole next time and just answering right back. And when you have things like Deathling Blast, Meteor, Flat Cannon, don't count Empire out just yet. But obviously, Cloud9 heavily favored at this moment.
I think the one thing first before I say anything more is they can't spawn Roshans, Bruno, so it's going to be a bit harder.
Look what Bone 7's about to buy.
Yeah, okay, I don't...
Yeah, and then look at...
Oh god, refresher.
Yeah, Doom's got...
Eternal Envy has the blue stick of... Yeah.
Oh god. You know, the Lincoln's choice is a bit interesting to me, just because you can still get hookshot, right? Like, that's the big thing. I think even more so than always want to fly staying back, it's Mag who has to stay back. Because stealing the black hole should pretty much always happen if you're in a good position, but you need to be able to stand there to cancel it if you're Mag. Like, Mag's job is to cancel the black hole. Always want to fly's job is to steal it.
Yeah.
Right? So those two heroes both need to be pretty much all the way back and just hope that Silent can do the 3v3 skirmish, right? Because that's basically what it's going to be.
Here's the thing, though. If Cloud9 knows the only way they really lose is like get the black hole cancel, stolen, and then use against them.
I don't think that's the only way they lose.
Really?
Because the way that Cloud9 have to play this, say for instance, Aoi sits in the back the entire time because he has to wait out for the black hole, and it's only a Ravage. I think that Silent actually... Two Ravages. But I think Silent does enough damage to where it could potentially force a bad engagement from Cloud9 because they're waiting too long to go in, you know?
Okay.
Because I think they're more reliant on their
We might see engagement like that in the middle.
Okay, Envy just blows up, always want to fly, see you later.
Okay,
that
so
double damage.
this is how I see the team fight going for this game. I think Enigma doesn't even need to black hole. Drop Midnight Pulse, drop your mech, just go in, like do your small spells.
Okay.
And as soon as you see a black hole opportunity that catches a Rubik, yeah, you go for it.
Even just blink in and black hole Rubik.
Or blink in and drop a Midnight Pulse with your BKB on. I think the rest of the team with double Ravage, with the Accept or Doom, and of course Sing Sing, who's getting pretty stacked at this given moment. If he finished Abyssal Blade before the next team fight, for example, suddenly he is going to be the front line that you also have to deal about.
What about a Rapier on Silent? Will that make will that do enough damage to kill all of them?
That would, but I don't think he's going to have it for the next fight. He's
He
close.
has enough for the Relic right now.
He's got enough for the Relic. I think that Cloud9 is so ahead that they don't need Black Hole to win the fight. It's my point.
Okay.
But
it's all about the BKB timing on Silent, I think.
Yeah.
If he can get the BKB off just before Bone 7 gets the Ravage and keep up the DPS, I think he'd be okay. And not get doomed as well. It's a lot on Silent.
Here's the thing. It's Aegis, it's Cheese, it's 4 BKBs, all ultimates online for Cloud9. But they're going to defend the base. All right.
Let's do this.
Well, they're going to get the tier 2 at least. They're not sending everybody back.
Vanscourt doesn't have a TP scroll, so if he...
They need to be really careful about what they're doing right now, man, because you're playing against a Wisp. They could very easily force an engagement on you. I think they realize that, and they're saying, okay, we should get back.
Actually, everybody just TP, or 2 people of Cloud9 TP back, but they haven't shown themselves yet. So Empire also doesn't know where Cloud9 is. And finally, Dooms is going to go top.
Vanscourt is favoring the stick over the bottle. He sold his bottle instead of his magic stick.
I think in a chaotic team fight, if you want burst regen, a stick is what you look towards you. But
yeah, I mean, are you ever really going to get a couple bottle charges off enough to a point where it actually heals Silent in a fight?
I think if I'm like, for example, let's say for whatever reason you're gyrocopter and you have a bottle, like let's say you played mid gyro, I would keep my bottle for the chances of DD runes, but that's just like a fairly corner case. I think most of the time a magic wand is probably better than a bottle.
Okay. Even a magic stick?
Yeah, it's just essentially your hero has 250 more HP, right? If you time it correctly. Or 150.
150, yeah.
I was a math major.
He knows, man. He knows his math.
Don't question.
That's basically what it boils down to. So Cloud9 looking poised to walk down a lane and potentially just straight up kill it. Resolution, by the way, is going to go for that Hex. So it's not going to be Lincoln's choice. I think for high ground defense, Hex is actually way better than Lincoln's.
Yep.
Because heroes are going to have to commit to like walking up. Okay, we have our cores are all melee.
Ooh.
So we got to walk in. Nightmare on the
Mag is in
mag.
a lot of trouble.
Uh-oh, the sun's gonna come through. Blink, Malefice, Midnight Pulse. Call-down's gonna be there, but Ravage number 1, Ravage number 2, but stolen! It's gonna be back. Always fun fly, he gets hit. He chops the Ravage before the Black Hole comes out, but the Black Hole will come out, and everybody is locked down. Resolution dies. I think Silent's already dead. Resolution's dead, and GG is gonna get called out. Cloud9 breaks base on the second push.